So, today I wanted to talk about social media, how I use it, how I understand it, how I'm trying to utilize it to run my business. I run a small bicycle marketplace. It's called Sprocket. You can buy and sell bikes on it. And I've learned that with App Store optimization and App Store search optimization, it's not enough to get it in front of people who do genuinely enjoy it and love it and use it. And so for that purpose, I am using social media. The thing I'm not doing is I'm not pouring an insane amount of money into advertising. I'm not pouring it into influencers or social media ads. I'm not a big business. I'm not a Silicon Valley VC funded humongous corporation. So I have to be a little bit creative, a little bit inventive, and I have to learn these tools and this medium and figure out how to get it to work, right? Traditionally, I'm a designer. I'm not a marketer. So just like any small business, I have to wear many hats, and I have to learn all of these different disciplines that make a small business successful. Especially this day and age, when things are changing so rapidly year after year, with all the technological innovations, the internet landscape, and how people use technology is also constantly changing. So, thinking back to my earliest social media use, I have basically started in this world before the internet, so I still remember what it's like living without a phone, uh, without a computer, back in the early 90s. And the first social media I got was probably Facebook. So around 2006, it started to become something that you could get into at the high school campus, I believe. Yeah. And I signed up and it was interesting, yada, yada, yada. Twitter came out. I think I never signed up for it. Later, even like as far in as, I don't remember when I started my Twitter account, 2010, 2012 probably. I started it for research because it was one of the best designed apps on the App Store, so I was using it for reference, doing things like taking screenshots, copying features, but I didn't really ever use it. Um, what other social media was out there? Instagram, also didn't use it. I started only using Instagram really when I started my business, which is coming up on 10 years, so that would be 2014. And I didn't understand like how to use Instagram. I just kind of did it. And that's the yeah, brilliant video with choking on my own tea. Okay, so there's kind of a difference between when you use social media for entertainment for yourself, to post stuff, to communicate with friends, and really when you're trying to use it as a business owner. So I started Instagram. I endeavored to post every day. In fact, I'm still posting every day. And I did talk to somebody at Facebook who I knew from my time at Lyft, and they said that I'm probably one of the most prolific posters on Instagram because there's very, very few accounts that post every day, especially for years on end. So that was interesting. So I got to see this whole platform from before the Facebook acquisition, when it got bought, and now with the changes brought by TikTok, how it changed to video format and be a whole part of that switchover. I got to see Threads launch earlier this year, and the whole dynamic between Threads and Instagram being on the same account, but two different apps, two separate platforms that are used very, very differently. Um, yeah, so that's Instagram. Then I got into a bunch of other stuff like because I was posting on Instagram, there was a repost feature, so I was reposting, auto reposting to Tumblr, and I didn't really use Tumblr. I just auto reposted to it, and I still got like over 1,000 followers, 1,300 is where I'm at. The weird one was actually LinkedIn, because LinkedIn started out as a really great recruitment website, but didn't have any kind of social media aspect to it. And they started kind of playing in that space. And I got an app called IFTT, If This Then That. And for some period of time, I was auto reposting stuff from my Instagram to LinkedIn, to maybe YouTube, but to a couple of apps. Pinterest was another one. So I didn't use Pinterest, but I used the auto reposting feature to auto repost to Pinterest. And the funny thing happened was I was on trains like Caltrain and BART, and people started to recognize me, and also at local bike rides in the area started to recognize me from LinkedIn. So I became kind of like the LinkedIn bicycle guy. And even though like I did the majority of my activity on Instagram and not on LinkedIn. So then, fast forward, and I think in terms of what I was doing back then was posting photos of bicycles and bicycle parts, and kind of trying to tie it into this app that I'm working on, and putting in information. Like I have a text block under the description of the item that basically promotes Sprocket and the URL sprocket.bike/app. And I also have a watermark because I realized through experiments nobody reads the text on Instagram. And that watermark is, you can get an app on Android and iOS. And so like I did that, and that was somewhat successful. And after doing it for now 10 years, I have, 7,300, I think, 7,600 followers. And what's interesting is the growth on Instagram really slowed down when they got purchased by Facebook. The founders left, and it became much more about them making money by selling advertising. So in the quest to sell advertising to people like me, they started to rate limit kind of like the exposure of stuff unless you pay. It was even worse on Facebook, so I kind of really stopped using Facebook for social media because I was just not getting practically any reach there. And so for Facebook, I just auto repost to it nowadays. But basically, in the most recent pivot, because they wanted to compete head to head with TikTok, which overtook them, they switched to videos. And they changed all the videos to Reels, and then they changed the algorithm to really promote Reels and push down photos. So my dream of just posting photos on Instagram every day for years, kind of like I can still do it, but I'm not getting what I want out of the platform, which is traffic and attention from my app. So I switched to doing videos. Right, and I'm constantly experimenting. I'm constantly learning. I'm not, I think, as successful on social media as like some creators, but I think there's potential there because I do see individual creators that have thousands and thousands and millions of followers. I'm just thinking I probably didn't figure out, how to get there. So I'm still running these experiments, trying to switch things up, trying to learn what it is that I need to do to hit it big. And I think all of us are kind of who are professional small business owners, which probably makes up a lot of the business use case. We're doing this lottery every day. It feels like you're posting and you're coming up to bat, and you're hoping that something will hit and it will become a viral sensation. And in that regard, I basically post once a day. Now it's usually a video unless I don't have time. And then because I'm posting a video of something usually bicycle related, I then set up a whole new pipeline for how I deal with all these other social networks. So this is probably going to be one of the most interesting parts of this whole video. In terms of how my social media production pipeline is set up, like I will make a video, it'll be a 15-second reel. I will use Instagram because one, that's where I have most of my followers, but two, it has the best system for creating and editing these videos and adding music to them. So I found that if you don't have music in your video, it basically is going to be less than half as successful as if you have music. But if you have music, a bunch of platforms, stupidly like YouTube, when you create a YouTube short, adding the music removes the audio. So you can't talk over it, you can't hear stuff in it if you need to. So that just doesn't work for me. And then another third but less appreciated benefit is when you take a video and export it out of Instagram, it will actually watermark it. So when you post it on other social media, it's supposed to tell you where the video came from and protect you against, theft, like people copying down your video and then getting followers and views off of you without doing any of the work. But actually, when you're reposting it to your own accounts across the internet, because you can download it and because it becomes watermarked, it actually puts your main account in a very prominent place. So if you, which I think Zuckerberg did very smartly, when you start with the idea that kind of it's a wheel and spoke model, and you have Instagram at your center, all your work starts there and then goes everywhere else, but everywhere else has that watermark, and so you hope that people come back to your main, which is your Instagram, and it drives your follower count on Instagram. Now also maybe on Threads. So yeah, and then to cap it off, because of the Snowden revelations, there's a whole privacy concern with what companies are doing, like Meta, like Facebook. So they made it so that you have to be able to control your data in Europe with GDPR regulation, which then made it so that you can actually also control your content and have a right to be forgotten. And that in turn means that if you have photos and videos on social media, you can actually download them. And because for companies that operate internationally, it's easier to just build a feature and ship it everywhere, that's what they did. And in fact, a similar legislation to the GDPR called the CCPA passed in California, and there's another one in Brazil. So the fact that they just built it and deployed it everywhere is really helpful, and means that you can upload a video to Instagram and then plan as part of your strategy to download it and then to repost it to other places, because you have that legal right now. So you take that 15-second reel, you download it, and it's watermarked, and then you repost it to all the other accounts. So for Facebook, it auto reposts. For Tumblr, they now removed that. For Threads, they haven't added it. So you go, like what I do is I also have a main account, and then I have a secondary account. So I have like on some social media, my personal account where I will share things that are interesting to me, and I will also repost things from my main Instagram bicycle account. And then I have my main bicycle account on that platform. So this is actually a bifurcated pipeline. Depending on the kind of video or photo that it is, if it's bicycle related, it will go on my bicycle account and then be propagated everywhere. And if it's non-bicycle related, it will most likely, not always, most likely, you know me, be posted to my main non-bicycle Instagram account, because again, that's the best tool for creating these. And then from there, it'll be reposted to my personal accounts across the internet, but not to my bicycle accounts across the internet. So this kind of like string. And yeah, I'll repost to Facebook automatically when I post. So from my bicycle Instagram, it will go to my bicycle Facebook page. That's nice. It doesn't go to my Facebook personal page. So the first place I will repost it is to my Facebook personal, and also as a reel. Now, there's another caveat here, which is really, really important and kind of dumb, but makes sense. When I tried to automate this entire architecture with AI, this is where I got stuck. When you have music, if the music is copyrighted in such a way by Instagram that you are prevented from downloading your video with audio, what will happen is it will let you download the video, but it will warn you that it's going to strip the audio out. Now, if you're not saying anything important and the only thing that's relevant is the audio, you can actually live with that because you want the watermark still, right? And it depends because there's a trade-off there too between having the watermark and the compression of the video, right? So the algorithm, to go back a couple steps, the algorithm looks at how blurry the video is. So I've run an experiment where I have like an Android Go phone, and if you have really terrible quality, it won't even let you upload. It will just keep crashing the app and complaining at you that they don't want your content because it's going to make their platform look bad. So every time, if you're downloading and re-uploading things, it gets blurrier and blurrier. So there is a case for you want the clearest image, which is the original video, but then you have to remake that video and re-edit it each time. So anyway, what I want is the watermark, and so for that purpose, most of the time I'll elect to download the video without audio if I run into that situation. And I won't know if the audio I picked is going to do that until I actually edit it, publish it to Instagram, and then learn from the download feature that I can't download it with the audio. I think another caveat on top of that is if you use what's called original audio on Instagram, it's an audio file from somebody else's reel, and I think what happens in that case is it's more likely to cause issues when downloading it later, and it's more likely to also break in your reel as well if that person, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it's if they delete their account, if their account is deleted or banned by somebody else, and potentially also if they delete that reel, you will strip that reel's audio out of everyone else's reels while keeping everyone else's reels in place. So there's kind of a mess with audio. And what happens is you get the thing without the audio, long story short, then you upload it to Facebook, and then in Facebook you choose a different audio. And even though Facebook and Instagram are owned by the same company, you then download the Facebook version of the thing you downloaded without audio from Facebook with the audio. And the side note that's also very important is when you're downloading the video from your Facebook or your Instagram, you can find audio that is of significant length to add to your video. So say your reel for some reason isn't 15 seconds, but it's 30 seconds or it's 44 seconds to tell the story that you need to tell or the thing that you filmed. With YouTube, I noticed also for Reels, audio is 15 seconds. So you can choose audio, or you used to be able to choose audio, and if it's the short is over 15 seconds, but you need more than 15 seconds of audio, it will just stop the audio at 15-second mark, which is also terrible. So for that reason, if Instagram strips out your audio, you upload to Facebook, and then you get your audio back. And most people aren't on multiple channels, so they don't care if the audio that you have on Instagram isn't the same as the audio you have everywhere else that you got from Facebook. So you got Instagram, you got the Facebook personal, then moving on to LinkedIn. Then you do LinkedIn personal, LinkedIn. I have a business page that gets hardly any traffic. Um, then there's Threads when they're not banning me for a week for saying something bad about Trump. And then you have other social media. I stopped using X for many reasons you guys know because of Elon Musk. The main one is actually the deregulation of the kind of videos that can be posted on there. So I just kept seeing too many suicide videos during my work, and I decided that's not a great way to start the day, so I stopped using it. But I would post to X, and there I had a personal and a business, which I check very infrequently. Then posted to Tumblr, posted to Reddit. On Reddit, it's interesting because I got banned from a bunch of communities because apparently if you go into like the subreddit for environmentalism and they're like freaking out because they're looking for solutions to fix the environment, and you come in there as a business owner and say, I run a business and this is my solution for fixing the environment, you get banned because you're promoting a business. I guess it makes sense, but it's a weird platform. So I post to my personal subreddit for my app, our Sprocket app, and then from there I can choose to repost to other communities that are bicycle related or related to whatever the video relates to, as long as I'm not banned from there. And then what else? Let's see. Yeah, and then of course YouTube. So then you post the YouTube short to my YouTube personal, which is Newcout, and then I post to my YouTube app account, Sprocket, and then I cap it off by posting to my Josh account. And Josh is another movie platform. It's in India. It actually is quite great that I found it because India and China keep getting into clashes on the border, and Indians, unlike many other countries, figured out that TikTok is a mind weapon and banned it in India because it just tends to educate people about the world the way the Communist Party would like them to be educated, and not the way that is how you would educate your population if you wanted a stable, peace-loving country, right? So the answer they had is they made their own version of TikTok, and it's called Josh, and you create an account and then you upload stuff to it. Because I run a bicycle website, actually there's almost as many people in India that own and ride bikes as there are Americans in the United States. So for my target demographic, it's perfect to have a platform to reach such a big and wonderful country. So I post to there. And in fact, my follower count and the amount of traffic I'm getting from it is very significant, even for the short amount of time that I've been on it. So that's been really, really great. Anyway, so in the end, I start with Instagram and I post to all this, and then I see the results. So the difficult part as a business owner is not just, designing stuff or creating stuff like an artist and then like throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks. It's also figuring out what's working and what's not working. And that's important for me as a growth designer. So designing with data, and for designing with data, it's important to understand from the things that you did, which of the things worked and why, so that you can focus your time and energy on those things and not other things, right? This is how I know that video is what I should be focusing on and not photos anymore, because the algorithm changed, the technology's changed, the trends changed, and so when I just look at the analytics for reach on Instagram in the business module, I can see that I'm getting, tens of thousands of impressions, which means people saw my video, they saw I was talking about something, and they may have stayed for some portion of it, right? So I'm reaching eyeballs, and I'm reaching eyeballs of people who often do not follow me. So I have an outsized impact, right? And I think the way the tool is set up, as far as an incentive for a creator, is so that you use all the different content types on Instagram to attract and retain followers and to tell the story that you want to tell as a business owner. But like Reels is supposed to be really the thing that catches people from outside and brings them in, so then you can talk to them with other things like live or photos or whatever. But I actually just want eyeballs, and I don't want them to come to my Instagram account as much as I want them to go to my app, right? To try my app or to buy an in-app purchase or buy my subscription. It's actually more important for me to get as many eyeballs, and I don't care so much about retaining them on Instagram. So Reels works really well. And at some point, I was doing a partnership either with T9 BioShield or Pinhead Components, and I had to like see how much visibility the ad that I made for them actually got across all these platforms. And it turns out like I hit a substantial amount of people, not because I have one account with over 7,000 followers, which helps, but because I have so many accounts. And all of these accounts, they actually get a substantial amount of people, which I wasn't appreciating. So when you math it out and you total it up, I have something like 10 to 15 different accounts that I post to, which is a lot of work. But I do hit, on a good day, 250,000 people, which is impressive. That's nice. And then some small percentage of them will do something, like they'll go actually check out the app. So while I don't have the viral success of a massive account with millions of followers, I do have people that I can reach, and often people that don't know me and don't follow me. But if I send out a message, usually it lands somewhere. So that's great. But on the other end, when looking from the app, it's hard to estimate like what's actually the source of the traffic. So I tried doing it through like Google Analytics, and they just changed that. So that had some data that was interesting, but I don't know how accurate it was. And then recently I ran a poll. I did kind of a questionnaire that pops up in the map, and it's still running right now. So if you go there for the next, what is it, like 17 days until New Year's, you'll actually see it, be able to participate. So please do that. Go to sprocket.bike/app. And I asked, you know, where did you find us? Josh, Instagram, YouTube, Threads, Reddit, App Store or Play Store, and then Google search or other. And a lot of people actually surprisingly, unsurprisingly, came from Josh, which I was suspecting, because I have a massive following there. A lot of them came from Instagram, which makes sense because that's theoretically my largest account. And then some substantial portion also came from YouTube, which is why I'm doing this video today. So what's fascinating is Josh hasn't been around for that long, and I haven't been on it for more than just like this year since I discovered it. But it's driving as much or more traffic, it seems, than Instagram, even though I've been posting on Instagram every day, and I've been on Instagram for 10 years. So that's pretty cool. Now the YouTube has a lower amount of traffic, but on YouTube what's interesting is I'm growing a following, right? So right now I'm sitting at 200 subscribers on my bicycle channel, and I'm sitting at 300 something on my personal YouTube. And the timeline of me posting every day, I am seeing growth in my follower count. The timeline of me posting on Instagram every day is I'm not seeing any growth, right? So YouTube is encouraging because at least in the way that it's set up and the way in which its algorithms are tweaked, I am seeing growth, which means I'm seeing growth potential. If I keep investing time and energy into this platform, I will keep getting more and more exposure as more people find me and subscribe and stay. On Instagram, it's like if I post something that's successful, I'll see a huge massive spike in attention, which will result in a substantial amount of followers. And if I don't post something that is a viral hit or a runaway success, then I just see that I'm losing followers every day or every couple of days. And other than that, I'm staying stagnant. So it's not that much fun anymore, right? There was a huge spurt of growth in the beginning, which is when I got to like 4,000. Then I fell off my bike and severely injured my knees. So I think I broke a kneecap. So I was in bed for like about a month just liking shit and reposting it on Instagram, and I got like 1,000 followers. And then for years, I stayed at 5,000 followers, no matter what I did, even though I was posting every day, and even though people really liked my bicycle posts. In fact, my account probably has some low percentage of all the bicycle posts on Instagram that matter, right? Like I don't know, but maybe like 0.01%, like probably statistically like some measurable amount is just from my account. And I have like over 3,000 posts. So yeah, the thing that sent me upward again is when I started investigating Reels, and I was not sure if Reels were good or not. I did like a whole month of where I just posted Reels to see what this new thing is, and I saw that it was like driving impressions for new accounts that weren't following me substantially. So then I started doing it, and one time I had to separate a master link on a chain, and it always gives me problems like separating those links and putting them together. This particular day, it was on my touring bike that I took around across all of the United States, and the link was not coming apart. So I looked up a way on YouTube to do it, which was by putting a cable through the chain and pulling it apart, separating the master link, which turned out to be not the most optimal or the correct way. So then a whole bunch of people showed up in my Instagram to tell me that I'm an idiot. And because they were commenting in Instagram that either it helped them because it blew up and they saw it, and they were doing it this not technically correct way, or because they were there to tell me that I should use a tool or do it a different way without a tool, it like blew up. So everything that I was doing correct was actually incorrect as far as social media. And doing things incorrect got people engaged with it and then got the algorithm to serve it to more people. So in a fascinating turn of events, when that went low-key viral, I think I got 4 million views or something on that, which is more than I've ever gotten on anything. And that's where I got another glut of like 2,000 followers. And now that I'm posting random stuff and it's not the mistaken chain video, I'm losing followers steadily every day. But as an artist, I don't want to be either reposting the same stupid video to exploit people, and I don't want to be a channel that's just discussing chains and master links. So that was interesting, but it doesn't seem like the right growth opportunity to me. I don't know, maybe you tell me. But anyway, the story is that with that video on YouTube and some other videos, especially like how-to videos, I did hit that magic curve where it goes up infinitely. So I do have some people that keep entering into YouTube search, like how do you fix a tire, how do you fix a fender, how do you fix a bicycle chain skipping and stuff like that. And my videos are apparently coming up even though they're shorts, so they're getting more and more views. So it does seem like it's not just about posting every day, but there's certain things that the algorithm would like you to post that work better than other things. So I've been trying to do that on and off. Now another thing that's kind of messy is my phone filled up and I'm moving soon, so I've just been posting videos off my phone to clear my storage. And while those videos haven't been on topic as much, they have been generating traffic. So I've been doing that. The thing with that is I should really be doing more videos actually showing my app, actually showing my app working, actually promoting my app and talking about it, and not just like random videos of bikes. But I don't know. I guess I'm stuck in that creative rut where I'm doing that until I run out of those or something, or until I get the time to clear the memory on my phone somehow, and then I can start filming videos. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's basically what I'm talking about, is like trying to promote my bicycle app, doing this creative endeavor every day, which does take me, now over 30 minutes. Used to be 30 minutes to post a photo. Now it's something like 30 minutes to do a video and then to repost it everywhere else. One interesting thing I found that I think might be kind of useful is in my videos, I tend to try to not do editing. I tend to do one long shot of something, because if I set it up that way and if that's my filming style, then I don't have to be spending time editing a lot and I still get the same result. So I tend to do that, and that tends to work pretty well. Yeah, if I spend time editing anything that's a multi-shot video, it often actually ends up worse because the chance of it being semi-successful and getting picked up by the algorithm is about the same. So when I'm filming, I do have already 15-second long videos stored on my phone that are ready to slap audio onto and shoot out the door. Something else important in that, when I post my videos, I try to make sure that there is, if I'm talking, that there are captions, or if somebody's talking. And that's simply because there's a lot of people I learned on Instagram and YouTube that watch videos in between moments and they don't have their audio on. So if you have music, they won't hear it, but also if you're saying something, they'll never hear it. So they won't understand the point of the video. And again, for that, the best system is Instagram, and it will bake that text into the video that you export. On YouTube and LinkedIn, I believe they use subtitles, so they don't let you put subtitles in a video in a way that you can bake them in. And Facebook may have them, but Facebook doesn't have the best tooling for creating and editing video with audio and subtitles. So yeah, I guess the question I'm struggling with right now, why I made this whole 40-minute rant, is what I should be posting on my social media in order to promote my app. And the question I don't think necessarily has an answer, because also if I'm just promoting and talking about my app in my videos every day, I don't know that I'll have that much to say. Maybe I will. And I think as a artist, I do enjoy posting about not just the app itself, but what it is that I'm doing on this earth, which is trying to get people to ride bikes to prevent climate change with an app called Sprocket. So I do want to talk about the community. I do want to talk about bicycles and bike parts and innovations in the industry. On a whole side quest that I went on, there is a massive war in Ukraine, and so supporting the war effort is incredibly important, because if I'm, if I win the battle but lose the war, and I have a great account, but the United States ends up going to war directly with Russia and China over Ukraine or something like that, over Taiwan, I don't know, then my success with my little platform is going to be meaningless also, right? And at the same time, there's also a new pandemic that looks like it might be happening, and there is next election with Republicans that tried a coup and never got really kicked out of Congress. So there's a lot in the world going on that I feel like, because I'm privileged enough to have a platform where enough people follow me, and I have figured out something that most people haven't figured out, which is how to get engagement, how to drive reach, how to post and repost to all these platforms, that I need to do it in video. I do feel like a world citizen, and that I have an obligation and a duty and a civic duty, especially when it comes to the United States, to talk about issues that are important to me, even though they're not bicycle related. So I know that in that way, for some people it's a turnoff. I know that I'm shooting myself in the foot in terms of like long-term growth, but I feel like sometimes you have to act. Like if you were in Nazi Germany in 1933 and you knew what was happening in the concentration camps, you would act if you could, right? And we're in this situation today, which is why I'm doing that. So my social media is kind of a mess. I understand that, but I'm learning, and so as I'm learning, I'm growing more followers, more people are finding me, and I think to return to the start of the whole video today, we talked about how the setup for the App Store for Apple and the Play Store for Android, they're no longer browsed by people. People aren't going in there to discover. So they do have to find out about your business or service from your social media existence. That is how to drive traffic. And if you don't have money to just burn in an infinite money pit called digital advertising, you do have to do this. So I did figure out that I need to do this. I did figure out how to do it decently well, but I am looking to figure out how to do it better in every measurable respect. And I think that if I can figure it out, I will be able to bootstrap this business to success. So this has been helpful for me just to talk about my process a little bit, and it helps me internally think about how I'm doing it. It's a nice like little mental counseling session, I guess. So hopefully you found this useful. In the comments, I would love to hear about how you're using your social media, especially if you're a business owner, to promote your stuff, and if you figured out any tips and tricks. Also, for whatever it is, go check out my social media accounts. If you go to my YouTube channel's about page, I think, I put in all the links. I think you're allowed 12 links. I used all of them. So almost all of my social media is linked there. Take a look through what I'm posting, and come back here and tell me what I should do differently, or what you like and don't like. But please be nice. And again, as always, Sprocket.bike app is how you can find my bicycle marketplace, Sprocket. Thank you. Have a good one.